As GEC's way back layout tour, just going back through the year since my layout hasn't done anything recently. This is one of my earliest videos before I figured out what light was, because it's so dark you can't really see anything. I guess it was a cloudy day that day. I got my 6-axle engines. I know some people are like, why don't you ever run those anymore? I don't have the space for them, they don't really fit in. And these days I run the 70s Conrail stuff, so a lot of these cars don't fit in anymore. You can see some of my early weathering attempts, especially on the NJ Plastics box car. You got the rust streaks and things. A lot of trial and error there. This is a popular video on YouTube. Everyone loves to watch it for some reason. It's just this out there in Jeep going by with a little crane. But it's a good working crane. The locomotive is amazing. It's been rusted up, everything, and still runs. You know, it's great. You can see the layout, even the background is totally different. Like all the buildings, most of the buildings here, the ProTech Plastics and the American Hardware Supply in the back, they've all been replaced by Magic Pan Bakery. A lot of the other buildings are still there, but the scenery has changed a bit. Obviously, there'll be catenary towers right behind where the train's running. So, and there's no oil anyway. You can see the oil tank, the oil thing's gone. Here's one of my steam engines. This is one of my 2 steam engines. I made this video back for the gauge a long time ago and never posted it. I figured UPSD 4-2 was posting a lot back then, and I thought you might like that. This one a review video I made, but once again I forgot the light, so... There's a bunch of passenger cars. I have a full SEPTA set now, but that particular locomotive took a direct express to the cement floor, so I've been using it for parts. It's been good, though. I'm making something new out of it. Same here with the Acela. I had originally gotten an Acela set for Christmas when I was younger, and the cars were okay, but I busted the locomotives. I ended up buying a new locomotive set, but I used the powered one from the other one, so now I got dual-powered Acela train. I've got all the cars for it. It's a 6-car train. And it looks great, it runs great, and it was a lot of fun to lay out, you know, especially club season. Kids love to see that thing whiz by. It's a lot of fun. Gotta love the red markers. Here's my U34 again. This is one of my favorite engines. It's another reliable holdback, you know. It's got sound, and it pulls, so that works out. Again, you can see the old oil refinery plans I had. This is a tall oil tank from Walters. Originally I was going to add an add-on with no tracks, just something to hold up a refinery building like the cracking tower, but it didn't really fit in because there was so much to fit in that one little space. I was going to build pipes over the tracks right here, but as you can see there's the loading ramp and the tank course are right there next to the track. Some say, oh well, it's your layout, you can do what you want, but it's just a little bit too close to look right. Right now those tracks are pulled up, there's catenary towers being installed there, so it all works out in the end. So yep. We'll go on the bridge there. But yeah, the station's still here though, but all this other stuff's gone. I even tore up some of the scenery you see right here because those stones are too big. But that's what you learn. You know, I was young when I did this. I think it had to be 16 or so. So it's 21 today. This is my favorite engines right here. It's an ALP44 from Atlas. It's a good runner, very smooth, very fast. It goes scale 125 miles an hour. And the only I love racing this at the club because there's only one train that goes faster, and that's the ice train on our club. So it's great. It's reliable. It pulls a lot of cars now. You know, and it looks good. It's interesting. You know, there's not a whole lot of those around. They're popular, hard to find, but you know, they're smooth runners. I can't ask for anything better. I think this is my E60 CH from that I bought from American GK kit. This has been my main trans engine for a long time because it could actually handle 8 cars and more, no problem. That's a lot of problem with those little tiny little engines like the ALP44 from just before. It's too small and it can't handle large trains. Speaking of small, we got my 44 tonner here in my industrial park. This is one of the main areas of problems for my layout right now because it's a cramped area. Right now, that locomotive can probably fit on the siding track it's going onto and maybe had one more 50-foot boxcar. It's great, like I can switch cars in there with this 44 tonner, but after a while it gets frustrating because you have to pull in and out and there's nowhere to really put those cars once you pull them out. So when I try to interchange with my Conrail engines on the track that you can see in the foreground here, it's very cramped and it's not really fun anymore. This whole thing that you see in the background is I used to thought I could maybe add extra boxcar tracks for this American Hardware Supply, but that hasn't worked out. That's now a Magic Pan Bakery right in there. So it has. And what I've done is I've managed to keep all the different train car types. Like back here, I just have the silos for Magic Pan, so I have the hoppers there. I still have box cars receiving goods for the factory. Oh, GG1 got cut off by that, but you know, it wouldn't be me if it weren't for a GG1 on here. So that's that. Yeah, that's me. I'm actually building a head-end power car for that right now because, ironically, it's an electric engine, but it can't provide electric heat, so that Amphilee car would be cold without it. But yeah, you can see the loading ramp I had for those box cars. And now, instead, I've got 10-car loading ramps for corn syrup and things, you know, box car doors in the building for stuff that goes to the bakery. And it all works out that way. It makes more sense operationally. There's that E60 again, 8 cars. This one's actually an earlier video, but I put it over here because it works perfectly with the next one, 2009 here. You can see now, again closer to modern day, I have the track changes in there. That passing track wasn't there in the previous videos. Got my Conrail SD60 sitting on it. Tom's probably wondering why there's not more Conrail blue. I wonder where that is also. I'm going to have to make some Conrail videos. But that's pretty much ends with the Conrail there for my city scene. Once again, that magic, the building right there in the foreground, no longer there. It's a good building, but Magic Pan fits operationally. I do wish it were taller, but alright, that's the end of it. See ya.